Hey everybody, it's P Complex. I am back in glorious high definition, and this is my friend Glengy.
Hey everybody, I'm Glengy, also Hunter M, and also my name is Glengy.
Yeah, we are here to talk for another episode of Opaban. We haven't done this for a while.
Yeah, that's opinions about anime.
Yeah, like a light novel title. I don't even know if we got to where we explained the title. Did we
Well, I
even
think I
do
just
that?
did, really. I mean, that's just what it is. You get it or you don't.
Yeah, so we're back for a Heaven's Arena arc. We've watched a lot farther than that by now, but
Yeah, everyone may have noticed that. Hey, where's the next episode of Opabon? Anytime Opabon's not on screen, all the other characters should be saying, "Where's Opabon?"
yeah, Heaven's Arena, very short arc. Um, I don't think Glengy likes it. I thought that this marked the point in the series where it was just a positive, it started a positive trend. Everything just keeps getting better and better until
Okay,
we
and
get.
now I'm gonna interrupt because in my defense, I would say that in my defense, I don't like it anymore.
You don't like it anymore because you've
Be-
seen too
because
much good stuff.
because I've okay, so behind the curtains a little bit, breaking some kayfabe. It's been a while since we recorded any of this, and we've watched a lot more Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, we're in the hundreds. We got to the
Um,
Chimera Ant
we're
arc.
we're a while past episode 100 by now, and yeah, we watched Chimera Ant arc, a lot of it, and oh man, it's so much better than anything we're talking about today. So now I'm just hyped to get to that stuff.
Yeah, but we got to get this out of the way first.
If we have to.
So we just completely drop the Killua family thing. That ended with a fizzle, and now they're going to a tower with the gladiatorial arena that is probably televised or something.
It was because they'd received a note from Hisoka, some tip saying that the criminal gang.
Okay, this is for Karapika. Karapika received the note.
Well, yeah, but this is why they're all like splitting up and stuff. This is what the tower's about.
Yeah. But Gon and Kulua, who we are focusing on for pretty much the majority of the time skip, they are just trying to get stronger. Because I guess Gon still has Hisoka's tag, and that means they're going to fight again.
Right. Gon made that promise to Hisoka that since he was embarrassed because Hisoka saved him and gave him that tag, he's going to punch him in the face and give it back.
Yeah. It was just a loan or something.
Well, yeah, and as we all know, Gon is supremely focused on every single goal.
And I guess Hisoka accepts people punching him as a form of currency. I don't know, yeah. But anyway, they're doing this because Killua warns Gon that Hisoka's just gonna fucking kill him. He is not anywhere near strong enough to take on Hisoka by himself.
Yeah, we have to grind some video game levels now.
I was gonna mention that. I feel like this is where it becomes incredibly apparent that Togashi writes this like it's a video game, like it's an
Hmm.
RPG in particular. I mean, you've got this big battle tower, first of all, where you advance by getting enough wins, which I'm pretty sure was in early Pokemon games.
Oh, that's in every Pokemon game.
I think it's an older RPG trope than just that, but there's a lot of stuff in here that reminds me of Pokemon, and I'll
Well,
get
there's
into
so
that.
much in Hunter x Hunter that you can trace to, like Dragon Ball, for instance, and of course JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but primarily Dragon Ball's kind of like weird insistence on the whole power levels thing,
Yeah, we don't
which
have
really kind of comes into play in this arc here.
a little bit. I don't feel like we ever get explicit measures of people's power. I mean, until we get a lot later, and one guy's power is just Dota stat system, but that takes a while. That takes a while. So yeah, the show really cheats us out of getting a good fight for a long time, because to this point, Gon has just been getting brutalized. But during the first few gladiatorial fights in the arenas, they are just like throwing adult men around, killing them in one hit. Or
So the thing is, because Gon and Killua are like, they're official hunters basically at this point, they've proven that they're like so crazy strong and capable, even just like physically, that like a lot of the low level tower stuff are just like big regular dudes.
it's just funny though, because we never got a midpoint in that. Like, they sucked and now they're super fucking cool, and we don't get to see them in an evenly matched fight.
Yeah, because like a lot of the hunter exam stuff was there wasn't really any point where there was really a true evenly matched one-on-one martial arts fight kind of thing. Like, that was the thing we really kind of enjoyed about the hunter exam, was that it was like constantly subverting our expectation of standard shonen battle anime.
Yeah, it got to the point where I felt like what it was doing was way more interesting than a straight one-on-one fight. But I think that this particular arc is very interesting because it actually gives you the first real fight of the show. Like, and it's fantastic, but it comes once you're pretty sure, like, you've moved past wanting fights from this show. Like, I didn't think I was going to get anything like this, and then it gave it to me anyway.
A thing that Hunter x Hunter has really consistently done, in my experience so far, is like constantly shifting the tone and genre and making sure that I'm never getting exactly what I expect I'm going to get. So it feels like a lot of the early stuff really subverted my expectation of, a regular shonen adventure battle anime stuff, and then as it had gotten me into that weirder space, it kind of pulls back in this arc to give us like, okay, wait, no, but here you go. Here's your real tournament arc right here. Except then it's going to be even weirder than you think. And it just keeps on kind of like flipping that switch over and over again.
Yeah, I would describe the tone of the show as kind of off kilter. It has a lot of...
That's a really good one. That's a good word to use, yeah.
It has a lot of elements you expect, but they're arranged in such a strange way, and you've got a lot of weird visual and audio editing that just, like, it's almost comedic in a meta sort of way how things are playing out. But at the same time, it's not a completely ironic enjoyment you get, because there are likable characters and things you can get invested in.
Speaking of likable characters and things that we can get a little invested in, let's talk about Zushi.
Zushi, okay, so they're fighting in the tournament and they meet a little boy in a karate outfit.
And he's like the tiniest little boy. Like, Gon is like, what, he's 12 or something?
Yeah.
This little boy looks like he's like 6.
I'm gonna bring up Pokemon again. He looks like the sprite proportions of the little kids in Ruby and Sapphire.
So Zushi is this tiny, tiny little boy with the most serious face.
Yeah, and he keeps saying, os, like as a chant.
That's a karate thing.
I didn't know what that was. I tried looking up what it meant, and nobody knows.
Well, no, yeah, it's just os, So I don't remember exactly what it means, but it's a karate thing. If you look it up, you'll just get a bad rhythm game, so don't think about it.
All right, but he has a sensei, and I really like his sensei because
I don't, but that's okay.
You don't like Wing?
I think Wing is the most normie man you've ever seen.
I love that he's normie though, because you expect a karate teacher to be sort of macho or buff, but this guy just looks like a computer programmer.
He looks like a fucking tool is what he looks like, yeah.
He looks kind of like Togashi. So, I don't remember what exactly happens, but...
Oh, hey, guess what? That might be a bit of a trend in this arc, because it's all kind of a melange.
Yeah, but I think Wing knows about the power system of this universe, which is Nen, and he's teaching that to Zushi, but Zushi's not allowed to use that during his gladiator fights for some reason.
Because if Zushi uses his Nen powers, he will kill whoever he's fighting. He's up against like regular folks in these lower level battles, and Nen in this universe, this power system is so OP that like he will murder anyone he touches.
Yeah, so what happens is I think he starts to use it and gets reprimanded by Wing. And obviously
he's fighting Killua, right? And
yeah, he's fighting
like,
Killua.
He's like, oh geez, this is getting serious. This Killua kid is really strong, and his face goes like a little more blank, and he goes into like a serene kind of battle stance.
Yeah, and Wing yells at him, and this makes Killua very, very suspicious. So after the fight, him and Gon, I can't remember, are they trying to stalk Zushi and Wing
Stalk,
at first?
yeah, stalk is the word.
Like, I don't remember if they just go up
they're
and
following
ask.
him home.
Okay, so they're sneaking around, and I think Wing does eventually, like, notice them and agree to teach them. So they go to Wing's apartment. But
Just hang out.
Yeah.
Just hang out at Wing's place.
Okay, I don't remember all the important fight magic words.
No, we're not. No, hey, you know what? We're not gonna bother because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
there's some things that are important, and then also it's an anime.
Yeah, but Wing kind of teaches them like they're this metaphysical mumbo jumbo psychological stuff. Like, he teaches them about Nen, but leaves out the part where you get magic powers.
Yeah, because it's very much meant to be like, this is the basic rundown stuff, both in the sense of like you're tutorializing a video game player, and also in the sense of Togashi has not thought it through yet.
Yeah, but the thing is, Wing is deliberately leaving this out, because he doesn't think that, like, they're children. I guess he doesn't think they could handle it, and
yet he teaches it to a 6-year-old. Like,
I mean, Gon's kind of exemplary in terms of 12-year-olds and how bad an idea it is to teach them.
Hey, guess what, folks? Foreshadowing for later in the series, it might not be a good idea to teach a 12-year-old how to murder.
Especially if that 12-year-old is gone. But anyway, Wing kind of tries to satiate their curiosity and send them on their way. But here is where they're trying to go to the higher floors. Like, I think they get past 200 fights or something, and they get a hotel room, and this is a higher tier of the tower.
Yeah, they've leveled up in the ranks, and they're getting to like, now here's the real shit. Here's the big leagues.
And Hisoka is here for no reason. Like,
Hisoka's just here hanging out because he likes fighting. He likes fighting and killing.
I love the idea that when he's not harassing plot important characters, he just hangs out at Heaven's Arena, just cruising.
Yeah, he just like beats people up because it's fun.
Yeah, so anyway, Hisoka is not going to let Gon and Hisoka through the doorway to get to the higher floor of the tower.
Specifically what Hisoka's doing is he's emitting a bloodlust aura.
Yeah, I think they call it
so thick and so stinky.
Yeah, killing intent is the awkward translation.
No, killing intent is such a good word.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, why don't you guys come on in here to the higher floors? What's wrong? And if Gon and Killua go through the killing intent without learning about Nen, they're just gonna fucking die.
They will die of like a heart attack or something, flop right on the floor.
And this is really important to Killua because he wants to know what's at the top of the tower. This is like, I think it's kind of...
This is a very important plot point.
This is hilarious because this is one of the few times in which Killua, not Gon, has been the one desiring something and driving the plot, and Gon is like, yeah, sure, buddy, let's do it.
It's actually super nice because yeah, like it's the series is showing that it's willing to be less protagonist centric.
Yeah, but the thing is, Killua, 90% of his motivations are just Gon related. And this is one time where he's expressing his own desires, and it's to get to the top of the tower because he's curious, I guess.
It was because Killua, when he was like 6 or 7 years old, made it to like floor 200 at some point, and that was like a big like assassination test. And now he's kind of like he wants to prove he's way better than his dad thinks he is. And he wants to make it all the way to the top just to go like, fuck you, Dad.
Okay, that's more characterization than I read into it, but that's definitely a plausible excuse.
I mean, also it's it's to prove it to himself that he's capable of this, and to because he's a little bit broken up about losing the tournament, but messing up the hunter's exam.
Yeah, but anyway, Hisoka is just gonna stay here and keep them from getting to the higher floors of the tower, but then the employee comes and is like, hey Killua, if you don't make it over to that registration desk within 2 days or so and get yourself a fight, we're gonna ban you from the tower.
Here's the thing:
forever.
I'm pretty sure the really arbitrary time limit was not 2 days. I'm pretty sure it was 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay.
It was like you have to do it by 8 o'clock tonight.
Something like that. And so, because this tower is apparently so fucking important to Killua, he's like, oh no, I gotta learn Nen, or else
Aw, man. I'll never show up my big brother. That's Killua's voice. I did it. I'm the English VA.
The thing is, Hisoka is just an NPC here. He is the guy in Pokemon that just is at the gate.
He's the Snorlax.
And he's going, Killua, you can't come through here yet. You haven't set that flag yet. You haven't learned.
By the way, I'm very thirsty.
And he's just gonna sit here the entire time.
He's just gonna chill. Hey, he has 2 hours to kill.
I thought it was 2 days. I thought he was literally.
I'm certain it was a much more
here.
absurdly. I know it was a much more absurdly short time limit that they have to learn Nen in.
Okay. And Wing is just here. He miraculously, oversees all of this and is able to stop Gon and Killua before they kill themselves on Hisoka's aura.
Oh, here it is. I found confirmation. Oh no, it says. Oh, I'm cheating, by the way, folks. I'm looking at the episode lists. It says they have to open their aura nodes and then learn Nen within a few hours until midnight.
Yeah, so they go back with Wing, and he's like, well, I can open your aura nodes by infusing you with a lot of aura, but that's incredibly risky in this short time limit. You two could die. And they're like, but we're gonna die if we walk past
to get to the
Hisoka.
tower.
I feel like the show is not even pretending that this plot isn't contrived as fuck.
It is true, but that it's very contrived, but also these are two 12-year-olds that want to get to the top of the tower.
They are just... And I think that their childish curiosity and kind of the fact that they don't think about anything or consider anything in a very deep or rational way, they kind of terrify Wing. He's a little bit...
But yeah, right, that is, one of the first, examples of, an older kind of master character looking at these weird kids and being like, oh, geez,
Yeah, he feels...
Oh, I don't know about this.
He feels a little bit bad. He feels a little guilty that he gave these kids magic powers, Maybe that was a bad idea. If that was a little bit irresponsible.
Maybe I've made a huge mistake.
Yeah, a lot of people in this series are just fucking terrified of Gon. They just react to him with absolute horror. And I think this is not the first example of this we've seen, but...
No, I'm pretty certain that we see some of Netero reacting in a similar way to this earlier in the Hunter exam.
And I think it kind of contributes to how Gon is not the viewpoint character. I think Killua's...
Well, I think he's most certainly the viewpoint character.
I think Killua's more of a viewpoint character than Gon is, because we get so much more of Killua's inner thought process than we do Gon's. And
actually, that's a really good point that you
And
made,
we get more of the thoughts of everyone around Gon than we do Gon himself. And
I suppose, sort of in the way that the series is becoming less protagonist-centric, I think there's kind of not really any one viewpoint character. It shifts sort of naturally from place to place as we go.
You know what show had a similar convention where everybody was pretty much the viewpoint character and you got everybody's thoughts except the protagonist? Was Akagi. The really good show that Glengi likes a whole lot.
Oh yeah, that really good show that's not good.
Okay. Yeah, so...
That's another podcast that we're not getting into that right now.
That podcast wouldn't be anything except, like, me explaining
No, it would be 5 minutes of me being correct.
Yeah, so... Anyway, Gon and Killua don't die, obviously.
Fortunately, yeah.
So they get Nen, and they get to walk past Hisoka and get to the reception desk.
Unfortunately, this means that Gon and Killua have entered a brave new world of the big leagues.
Oh god, and we get the 3 disabled people who apparently... Like, they didn't know Nen before they walked past Hisoka.
Kind of awkward narrative decision of the 3 guys who, like, kind of fucked up their Nen training or something, and it busted up their bodies a lot, and now they're spooky disabled people.
Yeah, I don't know if this is true, this is never explicitly said, but I thought the idea was that Hisoka just hangs out there a lot. Like, he doesn't just do this for Gon, he does this for everybody. And these were people who had not known about Nen and had tried to walk through his killing intent anyway.
Oh, I never thought about that piece of lore.
God, Hisoka is a weirdo, if that is just... Like, how many hours does he spend there?
Well, he hangs... Well, no, I actually read another part of the description. It says, yes, it was the same day that he was chilling out there. So it wasn't too long. It was like maybe 5 hours or something.
Wait.
Of just sitting in a hallway.
Wait, I'm sorry. They got prosthetic legs and a decked out wheelchair in 5 hours.
Yeah, like a super, like, rocket magnetic wheelchair or something.
After Hisoka, like, had crippled them.
Oh, no. Those guys were... Sorry, no.
I'm just saying.
Hisoka has been hanging out in that place from time to time for, like, months. I don't know. But specifically against Gon and Killua, it was, like, a few hours.
Okay. I still feel like it says really weird things about his character. Because he's... I mean, I guess he's this menace. He's this terrifying force. But he's really, really lame.
What? No, he's cool and fun and good.
He's a dork. He does this stuff that's just...
What are you saying that there could be evidence of a scene of Hisoka really awkwardly trying to flirt with somebody later in the show?
He's just kind of pathetic, isn't he? I will get into the whole Hisoka flirts.
Oh, don't worry, we will be, because that's in, like, a few episodes from now.
Yeah, so anyway, they get to the reception desk, and Killua is talking about, like, what's on top of the tower? What's up here? I want to know.
What could it be? I don't actually remember.
You don't remember? You don't
No, I
remember
super
the
don't,
whole
'cause it's
reason
been like
we
17
did all of
months.
that? It's pretty fucking incredible. So the receptionist
So-
is explaining how once you get up here, if you win enough fights against, like, I don't know, some special class of combatant, you get to participate in a tournament arc. And she's
Wow.
hyping it up all great, and then Killua just cuts her off with, "That's fucking lame." It's we did all of that for another tournament art joke. It was just a punchline.
It's super good. Oh man, how did I forget
It
that?
was so good. So anyway, we can't do that anymore because tournament arcs killed Togashi's family.
Yeah, so we decided to just like say, fuck it, whatever. This tower's stupid, but we'll keep beating some people up. For a while.
Yeah.
Cause Gon, he's still got to punch Hisoka in the face.
I love how they originally came here to get away from Hisoka, like to get stronger while not in proximity to Hisoka.
God, right, right.
Hisoka's just here.
Wait, yeah.
So, I think Hisoka, like, I think there's a line of dialogue or something where he's been stalking them. He knew they were going to be here. Even though he hangs out here anyway. I don't know.
Well, it's just convenient. That's just two birds with one stone.
I feel like the Hisoka problem is entirely one Gon is creating. Like, if he just fucked off and was a normal kid watching TV, playing video games, I don't think Hisoka would be an actual threat to him.
Hey man, we can learn how much of a threat Hisoka is in regards to video games later.
Like, I feel like he would just lose interest. I don't know. So yeah, but they gotta do some fights first before they fight Hisoka, and meanwhile, Wing
And
is continuing to teach them then.
the thing is, so the thing to understand about this arc is it takes on a very, very simple, kind of dull structure. Because, like, it is just like a series of fights. It's a tournament
It's
arc.
basically a tournament arc, but not a real tournament arc.
Yeah, it's a very truncated tournament arc where the fights aren't particularly meaningful or anything, because throughout this whole arc is where we are learning about the whole backbone of the Nen system, and that's where that's where the real focus of the story actually is. It's not on the fights. The fights don't matter. There's one fight that matters, two fights that matter. What really matters is that we're learning about magic bullshit. So the thing is that, like, we get into some fights with, particularly with, you know, the kind of awkwardly disabled characters.
Yeah, we get a lot of horror out of them. Like, they're very creepy, and it's because...
Yeah, they're a bunch of, like, cheaters, too.
Yeah, and the weirdest, like, part I felt was there's a guy with no arms, but I didn't even know that that was his disability at first because his face is weird. Like, it doesn't even look like he has any eyes. I thought he was blind.
I mean, you can have more than one thing going on with your body.
Yeah,
like, that's not
but
the worst thing in the world.
It was just such a bizarre character design that I didn't even notice what the focal point was supposed to be. I didn't even
Well, he's just
realize
full
he
of
had
surprises,
no
you
arms. I didn't realize his sleeves were empty.
So, the thing to understand about this arc is that it's like, I don't think we're going to talk about the fights that much.
Yeah.
Because there's you know, two important fights in the whole thing.
Yeah, there's one really, really good one. And then there's the one...
And there's another really, really good one.
And then there's the one with the guy who has no legs and has replaced them with one prosthetic peg leg.
Oh, I wasn't thinking of that one. I was thinking of a different one.
Oh, right. Okay, well, anyway, Gon fights the top
maybe
guy.
we actually do like the fights in this a lot. I don't know. Maybe they are really good, actually.
You know what? Like, they're very, very short, is the thing. But I think we get a few good clips in them.
I suppose you're referring more to like the animation quality because yeah, it does seem like Madhouse Shocker kind of like bumped up the animation efforts in this arc particular because
Yeah.
they were excited to do just some real fights in this series.
Yeah. I don't have a good memory for what sequence all the fights came in, but I remember the first one is Gon versus the top guy. Like, he has
Yeah, that's
one
very much the case with a lot of
prosthetic.
this arc. Like I said,
Sorry.
like no worries, no worries. Like I said, like this arc is kind of a big jumbled mess in my memory because a lot of stuff in it doesn't matter. A lot of the fights don't really mean anything in this arc. It's really just about learning about Nen and the just all the magic bullshit systems.
Yeah, but one thing important that does happen is Gon gets injured in his first fight because he puts down his big shield of aura and he gets hit by a top because the disabled guy, who not only has fashioned his prosthetics to make him look like a top, he has a bunch of smaller tops that he like.
Well, it's just thematic. That's just good. That's just good character design.
Oh, God. Yeah, anyway. Gon gets injured and he is banned from using Nen for like 2 months or something. And then Killua goes along with it. And in the downtime, they watch Hisoka have his big fight.
And here's the one where I was saying it's the other good one
Mm-hmm.
because boy is this one just dopey as hell. I love it.
This one was bizarre. Like, I don't even remember what happens in it.
This fight was about like showing off like okay, here's some like high tier Nen bullshit and like here's the weird magic stuff we can do with it. Cause Hisoka, our good clown buddy, is up against this like just some guy.
Castro. His name is Castro.
Why not? Castro is some long-haired Bishonen boy, and he's pretty cute looking, and he's got a big dumb scarf, and he makes like a Nen clone of himself so that he can fight Hisoka 2-on-1.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Wasn't there like 2 clones, but one of them was invisible or something?
Oh, I don't remember
don't
the
remember
exact sequence of
either.
events. It's really dumb. It's just something you have to watch. It's so good.
Yeah, but
But what ends up happening is that Hisoka, being just unbelievably stupid, allows his arm to be chopped off by Castro.
yeah, and it's like
Through a convoluted sequence of events, Hisoka ends up using his amazing Nen ability, Bungee Gum, which, as we know, has the properties of both rubber and gum,
yeah.
and connects his Nen to Castro's body at numerous points.
Doesn't the arm that's detached switch at some point, and doesn't he pull a card like out of his detached arm as a magic
I do
trick?
not remember because he does a lot of magic tricks and they're amazing.
I love how
but
he
does
just
pull a card out of his flesh, out of his arm
he
flesh.
just
Yes.
pauses the momentum of the fight. He just kills all tension so he can do magic tricks. He's really performing for the audience. And I think that's another example of him being fucking lame.
No, he's fucking great. He's super cool and good.
So, yeah. He made his Nen invisible. I don't remember what that was called.
It's one of the 4 main tricks that that Wing teaches to
Was it
Gon and Killua,
Zetsu?
tying these concepts together.
One of them Zetsu, I remember.
It's one of them.
So, yeah. And you think
What he uses the properties of the gum to stick his aura to Castro, and then the properties of rubber to send several playing cards flying at Castro's body, killing him instantly, or something.
I feel like
And then,
I feel like
but
that
this isn't
summary might have
important.
been
None of this
half
fight
fan
matters.
fiction.
This is all very stupid.
so yeah, but this is important because Gon and Killua, while they are not allowed to fight, they get a recording of this on television, and Wing is using this fight as a demonstration to teach them.
This is their like football replay clips that they gotta study.
I actually really like that. I love how the show is not only teaching them, but also the audience.
It's because they're, in this case, Gon and Killua are very much audience POV characters because they're learning along with us. That's just good narrative design.
Yeah, and I feel like the show sometimes does this where it will let a fight play out and then everybody will get into the minute power mechanics that allowed it to play out that way after the fact. But I feel like this is a more organic setup for that than there usually is.
Here's why this sucks and you're wrong. Here's why the videotape thing is dumb and bad and sucky.
Oh, God.
Because the reason that they're supposed to watch is they have to practice a new Nen technique called Gyo.
Gyo, yeah.
And that is the ability to see invisible shit. So the reason that they have to study it is that they have to practice their Gyo to see Hisoka's invisible, like, Nen lines connecting his things together, like his severed arm and his playing cards. But it's a videotape, so how does it have invisible Nen in it?
Yes.
Why is there video that can account for the Nen being invisible too? It's bad and wrong and dumb.
Yeah, the thing is, Nen works however Togashi wants it to work. Like, there's a lot of...
It's stupid, and this show is bad, and I quit.
I think there's a lot of, like, legitimate, good power system stuff with Nen, but the stuff
absolutely, but
the stuff I like most is stuff we don't get to till the next arc. But the other thing is, just from a world-building perspective, it is complete bullshit.
Hey,
it's
guess
nonsense.
What? So is every single part of this series.
Yes.
It's so good.
I love, like 110 episodes into the show, he suddenly starts caring about world-building, and it's really fucking...
Oh, it was a little bit before that, but yeah, wow, Chimera Ant arc adds so much to the series.
Took me completely off guard.
This is a good and pure show. We're not doing spoilers, and so we're talking about Heaven's Arena. So Hisoka's fight is dumb and stupid and pointless and dumb, and it doesn't matter. What matters is that Hisoka's entire arms come off.
Yeah.
And afterwards, he has the stupidest, worst date with another member of
so this is
the
an
Phantom
important
Troop.
Scene for a couple of reasons. He is meeting up with Machi, who is a member of the Phantom Troop, and her Nen ability gives her like a needle and thread, and she does a cool sewing technique to reattach Hisoka's limbs, and he gets a little bit excited while she does that because he thinks powers are really sexy.
Really giving it to me.
And she is just like not having any of this.
Machi doesn't give a shit.
She's not giving him the time of day. She's just completely fed up, which is how you really should react to Hisoka.
Yeah, but Hisoka, he just keeps on acting like he's the smoothest guy in the room.
Yeah, I love how this goes because he is trying to flirt with her, but he's flirting with her with things he personally finds really sexy, which is all just fights.
Man, I love fighting, and I love the way you do surgery on my detached limbs.
Yeah, he's like, hey, let me tell you about why I, a grown fucking man, decided to name my power Bungee Gum.
I named it after candy, by the way. I just like it.
Yeah, and she's just like, why are you telling me this? Go away. And he's talking about...
an incredible scene.
He's talking about his fight, too. Like, look how good I fight.
Look how good I fight. My arms are gone.
He's trying to show off, and none of it lands.
You know, Hisoka, a lot of people win fights without losing limbs.
And...
So, a very important plot point that we do learn is after he gets all the stitches and stuff and his arms are back to normal, he uses the power of bungee gum with both the properties of rubber and gum to simulate the texture of his own skin and make like some bandages for himself. And this is really important.
What what the fuck is that power where he can change objects to the texture of his own skin?
It's the properties of both
called
rubber and gum.
Texture surprise. That is what this power is called.
I forgot about texture surprise.
Texture surprise is really important.
Texture surprise is really important for the moment after this scene.
No,
when
not.
No, yeah, or I forget if it's right after this scene, but Hisoka agrees to the meetup.
Yeah, because Machi is a member of the Phantom Troop, and we get the big reveal that Hisoka is a member of the Phantom Troop. And it's
I think we
really
revealed that
surprising.
now, maybe.
We reveal it during this
It's
arc.
not a big reveal. So Hisoka's hanging out with these criminals.
Yeah.
And he's a criminal, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh man, wait for whatever you say, Mr. President moment, because in the next scene, Hisoka's taking a shower as a really hot, sexy anime boy. And then, the big spider tattoo on his back, which signifies that he's a member of the Phantom Troop, he takes it off and reveals, texture surprise.
It's just like on a piece of paper or something.
It's on his back. Well, it's the power of rubber and gum. And so it turns out, oh wait, maybe he's actually a double agent.
Yeah.
It's incredible. This scene kicks unbelievable amounts of ass. It's so good.
Can I derail to talk about how
Yes, please.
fucking bizarre we draw Hisoka naked and how often the show insists on like just shoving naked Hisoka in our faces?
Hisoka has to be more naked more often.
His abs are drawn just so creepily.
He's a very long man.
God.
He's really muscular too. like horribly muscular.
Like, who is this for?
Me. It's so good.
Did they think that, like, women were gonna watch this? Did they, like, I don't know what the target audience of this show even is.
This was drawn for Togashi. Like, you know it was. Come on.
Yeah, so
moving on. Let's skip the bullshit. There's a few other fights. They kidnap Zushi at one point.
yeah, and
Who
Killua.
cares? It's like doesn't matter.
We
It
had a
doesn't
good
matter. Some
Killua
fights
line
happen.
where he's like really fed up with how much effort it takes to not just outright murder people who are giving you trouble.
Doesn't Killua fight Wheelchair Man, and Wheelchair Man tries to do a lot of like lightning stuff,
Yeah.
like electrical magnet stuff, and then he electrocutes Killua, but then Killua's just like, nah,
Yeah, that's
I'm immune to electricity now.
a running joke, is just that Killua has a mutant body that is just immune to everything because of his assassin training. He just
so
keeps...
Killua's immune to like all poisons in the world or something.
Yeah, and it's really funny the way they bring it up like a recurring joke where he will just get into a tough situation and he'll just be like, no, when I was in Assassin's training, I did X, and it'll just be like Batman's utility belt.
Yeah, that's why it's great, because Batman's utility belt is really important.
He just has whatever he needs to get out of low stakes fights.
I think in this case it was Killua went through electroshock torture training
Yeah.
at the age of 8 or something.
Yes. We're really inconsistent on how much weight we treat Killua's abusive backstory with.
So, some fights happen. That stuff doesn't matter. Like Zushi gets rescued or something probably. Maybe he dies, I don't care.
Yeah, Killua scares one of the guys so much he just doesn't even fight anybody.
Right,
So-
that's how they conclude it. Killua just threatens to kill them really bad. And then they're like, oh fuck, let's go home.
There actually is one more thing I want to mention. Gon fights Wheelchair Guy too, and we get a really bizarrely framed scene in which Gon is threatening to torture Wheelchair Man with his own electric whip. And
Oh jeez.
yeah, and then just Gon goes, just kidding, and we get a close-up on his very cute child face, and it's a joke.
Great, good. That sounds not uncomfortable.
feel like it's foreshadowing. I feel like that was done with full awareness of what kind of character Gon is.
So, here's the thing. Here's what this arc is really all about. Gon gets to fight Hisoka.
Yeah, first we get the lead up to it where Hisoka has called Gon on the phone, and for some bizarre reason, like, Hisoka is naked, and we are looking at his ass while he is on the phone with this 12-year-old, and I don't really know why that needed to be like that.
Let's not talk about that scene.
But the thing is, I saw the comic, and he wasn't naked in the scene there. Like, he had such a ridiculous, stupid outfit on. I think the animators decided they didn't even want to draw it. They're just like, fuck it, make him naked.
Good. So, we get to the fight, and I don't know if there's even much I can say about it, because this is just the best animated sequence in the whole show up to this point.
Yeah, there is a huge frame budget, and...
It's a long, like, just drawn-out sequence of no dialogue and no pausing.
Yeah, like, I thought that was kind of incredible how a lot of the fights get sort of info-dumpy. They just pause for long stretches of dialogue. But this one just... a lot of
those, like, this show's good at those. That's the thing to keep in mind, is that, like, Hunter x Hunter's really good at the, like, dumb exposition in the middle of fights.
Yeah, but this just completely cut all of that and had characters communicating entirely through body language. And
this one was like 3 solid minutes of just Gon and Killua just doing a fight. Not Killua, Hisoka, just doing a fight. And it was so good. There's so much, like, characterization going into just their, like, movements and their reactions to each other.
Yeah.
And they're, like, doing stuff without taking a break, and it's so intense.
I thought Gon was animated with a ton of care in particular, just like the way he runs around and takes in a deep breath and then gets the air smacked out of him.
Gon fights, the way they characterize him, especially right here, Gon fights in a really kind of erratic, immature sort of way.
He's just completely frantic. He's moving so much, and he's doing all the stuff, and then Hisoka is just standing in one place, smacking him down like a fly whenever he comes close.
Gon, like, cannot get even close to him until...
Gon has an idea.
What was Gon's idea exactly? Because I remember a part of it.
He knocks over, like, a big floor tile and hides behind the rubble and comes up and punches Hisoka.
Super good strategy, Gon. Way to go.
We get a really good sound cue that goes with it. And this is the sound cue that happens pretty much whenever something fucking amazing is going on. But then the show kind of overuses it, loses a little bit of its weight.
No, it's good. The soundtrack is very good and there's no problems with it.
Yeah, but in this arc, I think it was really fantastic how they put it into this fight. Right.
Like I said, there isn't a ton we can say about the fight specifically, because it's a thing to watch.
There's
like,
something we can say about the fight. It's just a thing to watch
for yourself. What can you say?
Hisoka has...
Is it the elephant in the room?
Orgasm.
The clown-shaped elephant in the room?
Yeah, this show gets about as explicit in talking about boners
Hisoka
as you can get without just, like, outright showing you a boner.
No, because Hisoka gets a massive, like, lovingly painted portrait image of him getting a huge boner.
Yeah, we represent
and
this
it glows with, like, heavenly light.
Yeah. He's really fucking impressed that Gon got to punch him. Because I love the tone shift that happens right then in the fight, where up to this point, Hisoka's just been...
He has not been taking this seriously in the slightest.
Yeah.
He's been standing still. He's been just smacking Gon back. He's been leaning out of the way with punches. He doesn't give a shit, and he's not impressed. Gon lands a hit on Hisoka.
And you just get this terrifying grin in response.
And then Hisoka starts getting into it, and now it's time for like the real shit to happen. And boy, oh boy, Gon eats the most shit ever.
Yeah, but the thing is, before that, like, during the midsection of this fight, after that really amazing animation sequence, Hisoka's got to kill the momentum again so he can do a magic trick. He's like giving Gon a questionnaire of, when did I attach bungee gum to you? And Gon gets it wrong, of course, and it's really bizarre. It's massive tone difference.
It's okay in this case because like that tone shift is also a shift in like just how much this fight has become like Gon doesn't stand even the slightest chance. Because Gon's biggest problem is that he's stupid. Gon is a very dumb child, and I'm sorry. I love him and respect him, but he's dumb and he doesn't think about things. So Hisoka's immediate way of winning the fight is by starting to play the actual necessary mind games of a Nen battle.
Yeah.
And just overwhelming Gon, and he doesn't stand a chance.
The other thing is the referees are really concerned by the power matchup that's going on. Like this is set up in such a way that you're kind of terrified for Gon's sake, but the characters
because
in
Gon's gonna
universe
die. Like he's
also,
about to die.
Yeah, so they're trying to just make bad calls in a way that will end this fight for either victor as fast as possible, because...
And it's really interesting the way that gets actually, like, called out by some, like, people in the audience, like, watching, like, talking about the match. Like, wow, it seemed like the ref started, like, making some really weird calls at the end.
Because they are just terrified. If this goes on too long, Gon's gonna die.
Their friend explains that, like, this is also, like, I think this is a little, like, bit of trivia stuff Togashi wanted to talk about, that, like, in real martial arts matches, if a referee is noticing that, like, this fight seems kind of one-sided, they might try and, like, you know, call things a little wrong and end the match early to make sure someone doesn't get killed.
And then the final, like, I love how Gon finally gets knocked out. Hisoka attaches a rock to Gon's cheek with bungee gum, and then he tells him to look, like, to the left or something. So Gon looks to his left, and then Hisoka's like, no, I meant my left. And then Gon gets smacked in the face with the rock. It's really good.
That's amazing.
That's a
very
really
good.
funny way to end the first real fight of the show. The first fight with any real stakes.
Yeah. And what's great, what feels amazing, is that, like, Gon loses, like, so hard, but he completely wins, too, because he achieved his goal. Gon had a very modest goal.
Punching Hisoka in the face.
Like, punch Hisoka in the face. And, God, I feel like I remember bringing this up when we watched it, that it's like, I really admired the way that Gon, like, at least early in the series, the way that Gon acted about achieving his goals, which was that there was a moment, I don't remember specifically what it was, but I think it was the moment where he has to accept that he cannot beat Hisoka in a fight. And so Gon realizes, okay, I cannot beat Hisoka in a fight, and he has to humble himself for that. He has to accept that, like, this is an unrealistic goal for me right now. I cannot do this right now. And he accepts that, and instead of, like, bashing his head against that wall and trying and failing and feeling miserable about that, he changes his goal and he decides, okay, I'm going to challenge myself with something that I can do. And that's he's going to land one hit on Hisoka.
And the thing is, it feels really good as the audience. Like, it feels so cathartic. Like, especially when
it's a moment.
He doesn't just punch him once. Like, he goes in and punches him a bunch of times. And it's just... You love this little kid. You're cheering for him so hard. Like, yeah, punch him in the dick, Gon.
Well, not there. Don't go near there.
Oh, God. Yeah, so I feel like narratively this maybe wasn't super climactic. I don't know if a whole lot was accomplished.
I feel like it was a very appropriate climax for... In terms of, like, Gon and Killua just doing what they want to do here and achieving what they were trying to do at the start of the arc,
yeah,
it does so in a really, like, flamboyant, satisfying way.
I guess so.
And
It's a turning
it
point for the
climaxes the arc.
series. I just am a little bit bitter because I feel like it stole animation budget from my favorite fight in the next arc that just looked really, really shitty. But, oh well.
That's something that we'll be talking about in like 3 episodes from now, because hey, folks, the next arc is York New City, and it's the first one where it's going to take
Super
a while.
fucking good.
It's also where the budget definitely starts showing its stuff a lot more. But the next arc is quite long and very slow paced, where the series is going to start. It's going to start shifting into a very different tone.
It's not slow either. The thing is, I think it's really, really dense, and
I'm
it's
going
going
to
to
check right
take.
here, and it looks like York New is actually 20 episodes long.
Yeah, it's
so
going to
pretty
take forever
long.
to talk about just because of how much is packed into 20 episodes, though.
Yeah. It's again, yeah, it's not that the pacing of the show feels slow in York New Arc. It's actually much, much faster than it feels
Yeah, the
in
pacing
the
just
early
gets
Hunter exam arc.
ridiculously fast, in my opinion.
But it is a lot to take in, a lot to talk about. We couldn't progress through the show quite as quickly because there was just so much happening in every episode. And there's a lot of characters that start getting introduced, and it's going to take a while.
I
But
think we
it's
might
so worth
do
it.
2 episodes on York New.
Oh,
Probably
no.
more
We'll
than
be
one.
doing more than that, because that's when we get to episode 40. And
Yeah,
episode 40
yeah.
is where the series, like, oh boy, this show starts getting, like, real good, because that was the point where we were like, this is super worth it, this show is...
Yeah, I think York New was the first arc where I was just like, okay, this show is good. This show isn't just weird and kind of endearing. This show is fucking great.
This show is actually really good. It has some great writing chops to it. Like, there's stuff here that we really enjoy, and that feeling, fortunately for me at least, gets repeated a few arcs down the line as well, where I experienced that a second time.
Mm-hmm.
Where after a kind of low point in the series, I think, where it's just like I'm kind of checked out here, not very passionate about it, it comes screaming back with another arc where I'm like, this show is so good, there's so much here, I love it again, I'm back in. And that's where I'm at right now, and that's why we're doing this show again.
So I think that's it for Heaven's Arena. Did you have anything else you wanted to mention?
I think we're just about wrapped up. That actually makes it. It's a nice, solid, simple little arc. It's introducing the basics of Nen to us now, and we're going to be expanding on that a whole ton in the next story arc.
The one thing will be, like, Heaven's Arena is okay, but I kind of wish that this was how the show started. I kind of wish it started at this quality and we didn't have this big derail where we went to Killua's house.
It would have been interesting to see the show just just introduce us with Gon and Killua, and maybe some in medias res stuff with Leorio and Kurapika. Just starting off this
Oh, right, I
story
was gonna
at the
mention
beginning
that.
of the show.
We get 3 minutes of here's what Kurapika is doing right now, and the whole tone of the show gets all dark and angsty, and
Right.
it's not really relevant to anything in
No,
this
yeah,
arc
nothing
at all.
Kurapika's. No, it doesn't matter. Nothing Kurapika's doing is gonna matter forever.
I love how we don't get that sort of cutaway shot to Leorio, though.
I love that we don't look at Leorio too. I also like that.
Because they're at least trying to remind us that Kurapika is still alive.
But
He's
we
still
don't
a
need to.
character.
We don't need to look at Leorio. Actually, we
Yeah,
don't need to
fuck
remember
Leorio.
him. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Goodbye, folks.
Bye. Fuck Leorio.